anything but housework, money that we pay upon demand. To the general store they own, or else they'll take away our home and give it to some other homeless cotton mill man. Lord, don't let my son grow up to be a sweaty cotton mill man. Lord, don't let my son grow up to be a sweaty cotton mill man. Hello there.
Hi, my name is Roland the Forest. I'm gonna sing a song. No, I'm not. When I was asked to come and speak here today, I asked myself, what am I supposed to talk about? As a homeowner, I felt like a hypocrite. As a community leader, I felt like I was obligated. After I thought about it, I felt like I was, as a homeowner and a community leader, I have to come here and say something about this whole thing. The only word that I can use to describe the housing crisis in Cambridge is outrageous. It's outrageous because big developers such as Harvard, MIT, Ranch Towers are making life difficult for both tenants and homeowners. I mean small homeowners. And both groups, meaning the tenants and the homeowners, are divided on a touchy issue: rent control, while these big developers are robbing our city. It's outrageous when I see someone walking around with a Section 8 certificate for about 3 or 4 months, or even until that certificate is revoked, because they cannot find an apartment because they are too high in a rent control city. I'm here to say that the Haitians are no different when it comes to housing in Cambridge than any other ethnic groups in Cambridge. We want to preserve our ethnic diversities that we have in Cambridge. And the only way we're going to do that is by doing what you guys are doing here today: fight for affordable housing. And I want to thank Bill for inviting me. Bill and Chama goes back a long way. And in this fight also, he did not forget the Haitians. The Haitians are included in this struggle. And on behalf of Chama, and I, myself personally, I'm also a Cambridgeport resident. I want to thank you all.
There's an organized painting activity going on that it's not exclusively for children, but it's primarily for children. So if there are children wandering around, or there are children giving parents some trouble because they don't know what they want, they're bored, I encourage you to see Mary over here on the side of the table, and she will direct you to where the children are painting. Second thing I want to say is that there's at least one person, maybe 2 people in the crowd who have a petition for, one person's name is Skipper Hammond, and she has a petition for homeowners, and Helen Snively's here too, and she's raising her hand with the petition. That petition is for homeowners who are in support of rent control and who signed the ad that went in the Chronicle. Is it this week, Helen? It's been in the tab.
It's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's been in the Tenant Independent, it's going in the Chronicle, but there's been a logistical problem in that they require another signature. So if you signed, if you're a homeowner and you signed in support of rent control, see Helen or see Skipper Hammond today, sometime today. Thank you. I want to recognize a number of community leaders who also happen to be either elected officials in this town or are attempting to become elected officials in this town in the election coming up in November. And to say, well, to repeat what Patty Natick said earlier, that we are very, very glad to have them here today. We hope that they are listening to people who are speaking, particularly those people who may speak in the next hour about their personal experiences with the difficulty to get homes, affordable homes. So we want to thank these elected officials and these candidates for being here, and we hope they will listen to the people that speak today. And if I could just point them out, and maybe they can raise their hand. This is in no particular order. I see Denice Simmons here from Cambridgeport, who's running for school committee. I see Jonathan Meyers here, who's running for city council. I saw Sandra Graham here, a sitting city councilor. And I see Commendatore Councilor Alfred Velucci here, who is currently on the city council running for re-election. And John St. George is here. He is running for school committee. I did see David Sullivan, current sitting city councilor, who is running again earlier. I think that was everybody. As other candidates arrive, we will try to recognize them. So thank you for being here today. And we hope that you're listening. Now I want to introduce Jeff Gardner, who is the co-chairperson of the Cambridge Tenants Union.
Needless to say, the Cambridge Tenants Union strongly supports the effort here in Cambridgeport to hold MIT to provide affordable housing. Sometimes when I drive or walk through the neighborhood here, it seems to me that I'm going through a battle zone. It's a demilitarized zone, but it also looks like a city under siege. My own neighborhood in mid-Cambridge, I think, is also a battle zone, is also a demilitarized zone, and the city from there looks a little less obviously like a city under siege, but nonetheless it is a city under siege. It's remarkable to me how in my neighborhood, most of the signs up on people's lawns for the election are Bill Walsh signs. And many of the buildings are buildings that I can identify as buildings that just a short while ago were rent control buildings. And the people who own them now, since they've been removed from rent control, were able to do that with the services of, guess who, Bill Walsh. And now they support him for city council. And I think all of this is indicative of the fact that we do live in a city under siege. This is a very large battleground among a city which itself is a much bigger battleground. And it's a funny war because it's not a war of weapons. It's a war in which the city is held by big bank accounts, court affidavits, court orders to evict people, removal permit applications, and all the paraphernalia of a city government which, alas, more often than not, with respect to tenants and to people who need housing, acts like a collaborationist government.